Welcome to Mike Drops Up Close. We speak to entrepreneurs and thought leaders from all around the globe. Tune in and hit subscribe. Stay informed with inspiring stories from our amazing guests. We get up close and personal, covering subjects from business, marketing, and mindset. Hosted by Michael Kalisperis, a successful digital marketer and property investor.
Welcome everybody to Mike Drops Up Close. We've got an amazing friend and brilliant entrepreneur, Simone Vincenzi. I can't say it. Vincenzi. You're saying Italian word. How the hell do you say it properly?
Vincenzi.
Say it again.
Vincenzi.
Vincenzi.
Yeah, you see.
Vincenzi. You know, I mean, I'll probably say Vincenzi or something like that. You know, I knew it was wrong when I was trying to throw it out of my bloody mouth. So welcome to Mike Drops. It's really great to have you on.
Thank you.
You are a fantastic guy and a brilliant friend, and everything you do is pretty much amazing. Everything you touch turns to gold, quite frankly. And I seem to think, yeah, it does. And it's really a pleasure of mine to be, your friend. And we connected a couple of years back through another friend as well, Des. And I've attended your sessions and your trainings and so on, and it's fantastic. I highly
thank you. I really appreciate it.
Them. Recently, you just came off a massive UK debut with an event with Dr.
DiMartini,
yeah, with Will Paulston as well, another great guy. And you were speaking as well. So how did that go?
It went absolutely amazing. Oh my God, what an event!
Don't make me jealous. I planned to go and everything.
I thought you were coming actually.
I was supposed to come, but obviously, unfortunately, in my life, there's a constant things. I mean, I've got my own event coming on this Saturday. I'm doing on the Black Friday. I did an event I'd normally probably charge about £900. And I literally I'm doing a full day at my place with on marketing. So I'm doing an event on marketing.
That's brilliant.
15, 16 people there, yeah. So it's free, completely free. They've got food and everything. So I'll be showing them everything I know, pretty much. And
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to hear more after it's done.
Busy. But yeah, I really wanted to get you on the show for quite a while because obviously what you've done and where you've come from, and this show's obviously about interviewing entrepreneurs and getting up close with them. And I really got a lot of respect for you and where you've come from and where you began. So if you'd like to explain to the audience, a bit of your story and how you began. We'll go into what you're doing now because you're doing some amazing stuff.
Yeah.
But this is up close. We like to get to the nitty-gritty how you began, because a lot of people see people where they're at a certain stage in their career and they've already kind of either made it or they're doing quite well and they don't know the person before. And I know that you come from humble beginnings as well, and you literally worked your ass off and you tried many times with your business, and now it's successful and it's paid off. But we both know it's not a simple easy road forward.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It was not at all. My background was in the catering industry. That was my very first job that I had. And I started working in restaurant when I was 14 because my parents split up because my father used to drink a bit too much. And my mom said, enough, going out of the house now.
Yeah. So
my father went into rehab for about 6 months during that time. And suddenly there was no more money in the house.
Yeah.
Or I couldn't complain about anything. I had a great childhood. I mean, we weren't rich, but I had nothing missing. Now, I wanted my PlayStation, I had my PlayStation. I wanted my PlayStation games, I got a PlayStation game. I wanted a scooter, I had a scooter. So I was very lucky, very lucky. But then suddenly it's like, oh, okay, we cannot go out for dinner anymore. Well, what's that about? And I saw my mom struggling so much just to, keep her head above the water. And I said, okay, let me go and get a job.
Yeah.
And I found a summer job first as a waiter. And for the first time in my life, I found something that I absolutely loved. I was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing thing in the world. Because when I was at school, old teacher was telling me, Simone, you have to shut up. Don't talk to anyone. And I was spending more time outside the classroom than inside the classroom. It was a nightmare at school.
Yeah.
But when I was starting working as a waiter, I was getting paid to talk to people. It was the most amazing thing in the world.
I love it.
And so I put so much work into it because I found something that I loved, so I worked for it. And I became really curious about how the catering industry was working.
Yeah.
I became really curious about a different way of serving meals. I became really curious about how to serve people in the best way.
Yeah.
How could I explain the menu in a way that someone that wanted to come in and spend maybe 10 euros to get a pizza and a Coca-Cola, they would come out eating a steak and getting a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And I had great mentors that helped me out in this journey. And I worked really hard. And at the age of 19, I became the youngest Michelin star restaurant manager in Europe.
Wow.
I was managing already Michelin star restaurant.
It's not easy, is it?
No, it's not easy. But for me, it was easy.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think that when you are doing something that you absolutely love and you put the work in, I gotta say, it wasn't easy from the outside. Because the outside people were seeing that I wasn't going to any birthday party. I was working every weekend and every evening, and I was going to school during the day.
Yeah.
So on the outside, it wasn't easy. But for me, it was easy because I loved it.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't spend my time doing something different. And so that was my background. And then that's why I got recruited once and to come here to the UK, even if I could barely speak English, but the owner of that restaurant liked my personality and said, okay, Simone, we need someone like you in our restaurant.
Yeah.
I said, where is it? In London. All right. Right. Sign me up. 2 weeks. Okay.
Straight there.
Straight there. And that was my background. And I was earning really good money. I mean, I was earning from the age of 19 between 3,000 to 5,000 pounds every single month.
Wow.
So yeah, it was great, and I wish I saved some of it instead of spending it all in parties and cars.
Were you with your partner back then, or did you meet her early on, or when did you meet your?
No, I was a free bird. I was a free. I'd say I had many partners.
Let's not go there then.
Let's not go there.
You might get knocked out live on Facebook.
No, we don't go there. Yeah, I was a bit of a free spirit, and I loved partying. I absolutely loved partying. I was partying every night, and I was getting high every night, getting wasted every night. It was I lived the dream. I absolutely lived a great life. But so, then,
carry on.
No, keep asking.
I was going to say, so you found a new area in your life that you really loved and enjoyed, and I've noticed that whatever you do, you actually put a lot of positivity and energy into anything you do, and that's what attracted me to you as a person initially. And we run in decent circles of people that have got that same vibe, and I think it can rub off on you, so being around certain people that have got that kind of vibe can rub off on you. Even with me having a crap time in my life, with my son being made disabled, and my mindset, my depression and so on can go up and down, can't it, in life? But it's always great to connect with people that are on the positive side of life, and you're one of them, definitely, because it just gives you that little bit of a lift. But it's quite interesting how you spoke about your dad and the drink, and how you turned that round in your head, at least, and made a future for yourself, a positive future for yourself, and you kind of escaped that, because I think a lot of things are hard to escape when you're stuck in those situations. So sometimes there's guilt to leave, and it's quite impressive to get the guts.
There was. I gotta say, Michael, there was a lot of guilt, because my brother is 8 years younger than me.
Yeah.
So by the time of the divorce, he was I think 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I left home when I was 18.
Yeah.
And when he was 18, my brother was 10. So basically from 6 to 10, I became kind of is dead.
Yeah.
And so when I left, my brother completely went nuts.
Right.
Like
Okay.
he kicked out, because for him, he didn't have a father anymore and didn't have me anymore.
Yeah.
And so his behavior completely changed. He was very resentful, very angry, big. It was difficult for my mom to be with him. And it was
Imagine.
difficult even for me to have any relationship with him. But I
Yeah.
cannot blame him. I can understand.
Yeah.
I'm happy now. Now we have a great relationship. I mean, I got him to come to the UK. He's working in Gucci, in Harrods at the moment.
Yeah.
And, we see each other all the time. We rebuild the relationship, and it changed. But for me leaving, I had everyone, all my friends telling me, are you crazy? Why are you leaving your mom in this situation? She's going to be like raising your brother by herself. She doesn't have any support. She will have, on top of that, there is all the tribunal stuff going on.
Yeah.
And my mom actually didn't talk to me for about 3 years after I left.
Right.
So I was living with that guilt inside. But at the same time, I knew that it was the right decision. So it was very difficult. It was very difficult to make that decision and to calm that sense of guilt and resentment that I had when to come back or saying, oh, did I make the right decision? But I knew I made the right decision because I didn't want to meet the middle of the stuff anymore.
Yeah.
But because I don't know, a lot of maybe some people that are listening right now went through divorce, and maybe their parents were divorced. And when you have one parent that and the other parents that don't talk to each other, and there is the person in the middle, and the one parent says, okay, you need to tell your mom this, and the other mom said, no, you need to tell your dad this, and they were not good stuff.
Yeah. I can imagine.
I didn't want to be in there anymore. I understood why they were doing it, but I was saying, you know what, mom, then this is your problem, it's not my problem.
Yeah, I could totally get that. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so you ended up flying the nest, as they say, and you took a big decision, a bit like what my parents did or my dad did originally as well. You know, come to another country without knowing the language, just like you started from scratch. You know, he lost his mum, you know, very young, and his dad, you know, had his issues as well, unfortunately. And the reality is, like, you know, sometimes when you have diversity in life, and I say diversity, not adversity, because I like to try and think of it in terms of, you know, things change, and that's a good thing. Sometimes change can be disturbing, and it can come from adversity. But I think change can be a really good step up to get to somewhere you wouldn't normally comfortably feel to actually even attempt. And I found that when my son was made disabled, that I would never attempt to do the certain things that I've done in my life and the investments I've made in property and marketing and you know, spending money on education again was something I would never have dreamt of doing. But I've learned that it's really important to, you know, invest in yourself, and literally take action, but also take wise action and invest with the right people as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and we've both gone down that same road, haven't we? And I'd say it's both paid off for both of us, definitely. And you're even going further and do some great events yourself with GTeX, which is a brilliant event. I loved it. I mean, I just wish I lived right there in London, and I'll be there every day. I really would.
Thanks.
I know, I really would. And we met some really fantastic friends, and we're still good friends with a lot of people from the group and so on. So you can tell us a little bit about where you are now, what you've done, because you've done a hell of a lot of stuff. I mean, you just surprised me. It's like, by the way, I'm just going live with Frank Kern in about. I'm like, what? Frank Kern? And if anyone doesn't know, Frank is like my idol, like a marketing idol. He is a legend in marketing. And then you've done some really high level interviews. I mean, I've done a couple of myself, but you've done some really top level interviews, which are really impressive. So, like,
thank you.
Firstly, I'd like to say is, how the hell do you get them? Secondly, obviously it's your personality. Secondly, you know, I mean, how do you find yourself and how you've grown over the last, I'd say, couple of years. Because whether you see it yourself, you're grown to a level, I'd say, equal to some of the people you were actually even interviewing. Maybe you don't even see it yourself, because a lot of times when you're in it, you don't feel it or see it yourself. But I think it's important to realise that, I mean, I see you as someone who's really up there, and I've got a lot of respect for you. And
Thank you.
You know, it's not just because we're friends. I genuinely mean it. I've got a lot of respect for you. I think what you do is brilliant. I think the way you get things done is you know, takes a lot of tenacity. It takes a lot of keeping at it, and you manage to do it. You're non-stop. You're just non-stop, and literally, I think that's the key. I think everyone I seem to know that's doing extremely well doesn't stop. A lot of people in the industry that we both know are constantly, you know, working, and people think, yes, it's you know, it's you just get there. It's just like magic. You just
I think this is you exactly made the point when you said how did you build yourself and how you maintain yourself. Well, it's non-stop. It's going, because there are moments, in particular in the building phase of a business or a personal brand, that you just need to be out there consistently. Consistently, and people keep seeing you, people keep seeing you, and the more people keep seeing you, then the more your audience grows, the more your influence grows, the more lives you change. And it's a consistent work of being interviewed or getting on stage and speaking, and it doesn't matter if there is one person, 5 people, 10 people, 1,000 people. I don't care, I'm there. And then you arrive to the point when you reach a tipping point, and then the amount of content, the presence that you have put for years, then starts working for you.
That's it. I think you hit the nail on the head there. It takes time, and a lot of people seem to think over you know a month or two they can suddenly just make it, you know. And the reality, it takes time, and it really upsets me when I see people kind of like thinking that they can. And the reality is it's not that straightforward. You've got to really forge forward in this industry, and you're a natural at speaking as well, which is a great talent to be. I've got some good friends that are in the same field. So
you say I'm a natural at speaking.
I'd say you're natural speaking.
Well, you see the results of 1,000 events done in the past 5 years, and you are seeing the results of thousands of videos that I've shot in the past 5 years. If you see my very first talk, or if you see my very first video, you wouldn't say I'm a natural at speaking, because people couldn't really understand what I was talking about. My Italian accent was so strong and my vocabulary was so limited that people could not even understand what I was talking about.
But it just amazes me though, because like you just don't give a shit.
No, I don't. I don't, because if I want something, I go and get it.
Yeah, and I love that.
I don't care how long it takes. Like, there is something that I have. I've got patience. I mean, I don't have patience. Let's put it this way. I don't have patience because I'm very restless.
Yes.
But I've got the patience to keep going up until I get the results. I get frustrated when I don't get the results that I want. Yes, incredibly frustrated. But then calm myself down and I keep going. and that's the story. That's the story. That's the story of my life. I want something. I don't care how long it takes, what it is. I know I'm gonna get it. There is no doubt in my mind that I'm gonna get it. What I don't know is that how long it's gonna take. And what I know is that I'm as long as it's really important for me, because this is also the thing. It's really, really important for me. I mean, just thinking about my wife, for example. I knew, like, after I started dating her or meeting her after a few times, she was the one. I knew it.
After all those
Bang.
Playful times you had before.
After all the playful times. But I knew. I just knew.
That's lovely, man. Yeah.
And she didn't even want to date me.
It sounds
she, like, literally, she was like, no, between me and you, never going to happen. I was like, yep. You were absolutely right. But
your speaking gig started there. Will you marry me? Will you marry me? After thousands of times of asking her, she just gave up.
that's a bit more, that's a lot, a bit like it happened. Not with "Will you marry me," but I was always asking her for a date and giving her flowers and popping up in places that I knew she was.
You're
But
romantic. Come on.
I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm a
So
hopeless
did you get your
romantic.
didgeridoo out? And I'm not being rude to my wife. Right.
She hated the didgeridoo. No, actually, there is a rule. I cannot play didgeridoo in the house.
No,
She hates that bloody thing.
I know it's Simone, right? People probably think I'm being rude. Simone actually plays the didgeridoo, and he's pretty awesome at it.
You can actually see it at the back of, if you're looking at there, I've got a big didgeridoo. That's a didgeridoo.
He's good at it. And
Thanks.
when we met up a couple of months ago in London, you had that new instrument. It's pretty unique, that metal one. Really,
Hangpan.
yeah, I've never seen that.
It's beautiful. Yeah, even that one I cannot play in the house.
And she just she hates your creativity, basically.
She just, yeah, exactly. She says, "I'm glad you like your music, but I don't like your music, so you don't play."
Yeah, but I
I'm
mean,
like, okay. That's why I play it in seminars.
it's pretty awesome. Yeah. I mean, we were in the park, weren't we, with our group, and you're playing it there, and everyone was everyone loved it. And then your wife turned up, and you're like, right, oh god, I've got to put it away.
Exactly, absolutely. I was like, okay, she's here, so no
everyone
problem.
loved it.
In fact, there is Juliet that says, "It sounds like my husband chasing me. He proposed on the first date." great job.
Oh, that's brilliant. No, my wife, I must admit, I did a similar thing with my wife. We kind of liked each other, but then she was like, oh, I'm not sure. And it was just like, she kept on trying, we got there in the end, but personality actually, because actually back then I was skinny and I had hair, which is very different to now. So people now, what they seem to think now is they think, that I've got a beautiful wife because I've got a nice car and a nice house and all this kind of thing. It's like, no, she met me when I had hair and I was skinny. But she says she found me funny and all this kind of thing. So
the Greek stallion.
The Greek stallion, yeah, God, not me. Oh. Maybe when I was younger, possibly. Yeah, not now. I feel like I've just lost all good looks and everything, possibly.
No, you're pretty sexy. Gotta say, you're a pretty sexy man.
I'm blown away. No, I think it's amazing what you've managed to achieve. It really, really is. And again, I've seen you've partnered up with Ben as well, Ben Shorter in GTeX, and what you guys have created together, and you've got a great team with Caroline and so on, and the other guys. You've created such a brilliant atmosphere, and the network's almost family orientated. You've got that family feel, which I think is really important. The connection between you as a professional teaching and your clients, who the people that attend. You've got a very good connection, I think, compared to what you see in other areas and other people out there doing similar things. You've got a really great connection with your audience, and I think personally, I think that's probably been one of the biggest keys of your successes.
Absolutely.
And the consistency. I wish I could be more consistent, to be honest with you. It's just like life's everywhere at the minute, but we'll get there. Definitely. So I wanted to ask you another question, and the question was, you obviously came over here. You had pretty much nothing. You got your job as in the restaurant field, the catering field, and that was your enlightening moment where you moved from home. You're really happy. You're getting paid quite a decent wage in that field, and then something happened in your head, and you said, right, I'm going to be an events organizer. I'm going to be a speaker. I'm going to be interviewing top-end, high-level, 8-figure entrepreneurs. And then you just did it. And you did it in a very short period of time. And I mean, could you tell us a bit of that journey?
Yeah, absolutely. I started when I was 22. So the decision, the moment of the switch was 8 years ago when I was 22.
Right.
I got tired or I got bored of working in a restaurant, because something that I want is when I see that things become easy for me,
Yeah.
I get disengaged.
Yeah.
I disengage completely
Mm.
because I like the challenge.
Yeah.
I'm very competitive and I love winning.
Yeah.
And I'm very competitive with myself, which means that when I was working in the restaurant in London, it was great for a couple of years, but it was a very small family run restaurant.
Yeah.
There were no possibility of career for me. And I was looking at something else. I said, okay, I've been here for 2 years now. Where can I go next? And so because I didn't have any experience in management, and in my mind, the next step was managing a chain of restaurants. That's where I wanted to go. But I had no diploma. I mean, I had a scientific study diploma. I had no degree. It was just literally working on the field.
Yeah.
I said, well, I need to upgrade my skills. And even though my English wasn't good enough to study in English, I said, well, let me start become better. And that's where I ended up attending some seminars.
Yeah.
And I remember attending the first seminars and I was like, oh my God, what is this? And also it was a moment in time where, because I wasn't really happy in the work that I was doing, because I overgrown that place, I've grown out of that place, I wasn't really happy. And something changed in me, and I couldn't pinpoint, because I was always happy being in restaurant. I was always happy with myself. And suddenly I started feeling depressed. I started going to counseling. I wasn't myself anymore. It's like I didn't want to see anyone else. I started closing myself in a room, literally smoking weed all the time and doing nothing else. I was like, that's not Simone. That's not me. And I wanted to find what changed.
Yeah.
So that's how I got into psychology and the world of personal development. And when I stepped into the word, it was like,
you just knew it.
I got hit. And it became an obsession. I was spending my nights watching documentary, researching, reading books. And I hated learning and studying up until that point.
Yeah.
That was the first time, and I was like, oh my God, I love studying and I love learning and I love reading. Even if it takes me 5 minutes to read one page of a book, I love it.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, how do I do that? How do I become that person on the stage? And that's where I looked at coaching and found it really interesting and really attractive. Also because when I attempted university, and when I went to uni, I studied philosophy.
Yeah.
I mean, studied. I attended for a while some philosophy classes while partying like hell. But I love attending the lectures and I love having these debates with people. So I found that coaching was very similar to philosophy. So that's why I said, you know what, let me see and get this diploma in coaching for me.
Yeah.
And I got a diploma in life coaching and youth coaching. And then someone that I met on a diploma worked for an organization that was working with young people.
Yeah.
And so they made a connection. And that's where I got my first gig as a coach in the youth summer camp called the NCS, the National Citizen Service. It's a great project. I absolutely love it on a national level, funded by the government. Absolutely loved it. And the more I was getting into coaching and mentoring for young people, the more I was attending seminars, then I was like, oh, I would love to become a speaker now.
Yeah.
But I didn't know what to speak about.
And now you can't stop.
I can't stop.
Which is what you said earlier. I love it.
Stop.
So it's amazing how you've got that drive and you found your core, because I think that's what it is. It's finding your true self. And you obviously already had that spirit within you. It was just waiting for a way to get out, and you found it. You found your purpose. And they say that when you've got something that you really enjoy doing, and you've got that true purpose within you, that's where success can come. Especially if it's channeled through a niche.
Yes.
And your niche is, I'd say first and foremost, you do a lot of things, but I'd say first and foremost, your niche is pretty much speaking, isn't it? First and foremost. Yeah. Although you've got other areas that you teach how to do events and stuff like that as well. You do a lot of, there's so many areas that you do within GTeX. We'd be here forever going through it.
Yeah, but the niche, you're right. The niche of my part, because GTeX is an umbrella company.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we have 4 sides of GTeX. We have the training of turning experts into authorities,
Yeah.
following my journey and what I've been achieving in a relatively short space of time. And which is getting radio interviews, making, how do you get the big guys on your show? How do you get to speak in front of thousands of people? How do you make sales from events? All these kind of things.
Yeah.
We teach to our clients. But also we have a digital marketing agency, in particular for people that want to build the funnels and want to build the automation, and now they have their business model sorted with us.
Yeah.
And then also we have an event management company. So if someone is a speaker, wants to run an event, we can manage it back to front. And also we have another side, completely different, which is a sales training for recruitment agencies. And that's where Ben comes in. And Ben is in charge of that side of the business.
Yeah, Ben's a great guy, isn't he?
He's absolutely amazing, and a sales genius. Sales genius, absolutely.
He's online. I think he's commented before. I'm not tracking completely all the comments, but I think he's written in here somewhere. But yeah, Ben's a great guy. He really is. But yeah, I mean, as you know, I build funnels and stuff like that, and websites, and a lot of people think it's like, just a straightforward, like you just drag, drop, blah blah blah. There's a lot more to it, and as you know, in an agency, there's a lot more to it. And I think when you've got the right team around you, which is what you've got, that's when magic really happens. And Ben is he's got the personality where most people, I think, would get on with him. He's just such a great guy. And again, it comes down to what we were talking about, where people connect. And I like to think that, we all connect because we've got things that we like about each other. And the people that don't connect, this doesn't matter, does it? I always say that to people when I'm talking to them about, when you're promoting your business. There will be people that won't like your story or what you're about, look or something, and there'll be people that will connect with you. And you shouldn't care about those people. I used to care. I used to be bothered about what people thought of me. Like now, I'm just past it, because at the end of the day, I am me. I know I'm a decent guy. I'm not a bad guy. So that's all I can do, and I'm happy and proud to be that way.
Absolutely.
There will always be people that judge you, and I think Ben will probably testify to that. When he's been on TV as well at some point, and he had quite a few people judging him, wrongly so, as far as I'm concerned. But the point is, he was a great guy, and he's achieved so many great things. So great person to have in the network, definitely. And his son's a great one as well, definitely. But I mean, you've constantly building this product up, and I saw a post the other day which I thought was fantastic, because it's one thing getting there to where you want to go, but then you almost have the reversal effect when you get there, where you're like, right, I need to take myself out of the business. I've done that. I'm constantly working. My goal is now, how do I take myself out of the business?
Mm-hmm.
And what you've done is quite interesting, because you've got your brand name.
Yes.
But you created a separate brand, which is GTeX, and a few, like you say, it's an umbrella term.
Yes.
And an umbrella company, sorry. And you managed the other day, I saw a post say, I've got the team in place, and this is what I plan to do. So you're doing the steps that you're supposed to do. You've grown yourself, you've grown your brand, you've grown your business. And then you had a post where you're playing basketball, which is one of your loves.
Yeah.
And so you could do that whilst the business was running. And a lot of people, entrepreneurs, get to a point where they build their brand so high, they can't escape it. They're trapped within it.
I agree with you. There is a strategy behind that, because before we were only growing the GTeX brand. So it was not about me. It was about GTeX.
Yeah.
Now we changed the direction, because we realized it was easier to grow GTeX by focusing on my personal brand and get people to know, because people will connect immediately with me. That's one of my, everyone's strength. My personality is attractive. Yeah. And I know that. I've got a lot of other weaknesses, but in terms of speaking and personality and become likable, that's one of my strengths. So I got to play on that. So I can grow the business in that way. But at the same time, as you said, I didn't want to be trapped. And also, we want to create a business that will live after I'm gone.
Yeah.
And so we need to find a way to grow the personal brand and use the personal brand to grow the business brand. And then when the personal brand, the business thread are big enough, then I'm going to start slowly removing also my image from that. So that's the 20, 30 years plan that we have. But at the moment, it's really interesting because this year, it was the first year that we started running events without me being there.
Yeah.
And I think we did more than, organized by GTeX, about 90 events. And over these 90 events, about 75 I was there. Or, yeah, about 75, 80 I was there. And then we did 10 without me being there.
Yeah.
It's really fascinating, the period of transition, though, Michael.
Yeah,
because
imagine that being hard. I mean, I struggle with pushing work onto a VA, let alone the whole business. You know what I mean? It's like, I struggle with that. I'm like, so I can imagine that being, because
it was so I got over that point. Before, at the beginning, it was really hard also to outsourcing. Now I'm at the point, I'm like, okay, who can you do this? Who can do this? So I'm at the point where I'm loving actually delegating everything. I think about something, I think, okay, who can do this other than myself?
Yeah.
But it took about 2 years to get to that point.
But to be fair to people wanting to get to that stage, it does take it's a catch-26, chicken or egg, isn't it? You need the money to employ people to do that for you, and yet you need to earn the money to get to that stage. So there's a balancing act where you've got to do a lot yourself. Leverage what you can.
That's why the most important thing, I mean, a lot of people fluff about with stuff in business, but most important thing is to generate cash.
Yes. Yeah.
Like if you reach 6 figures, the only thing in your mind is generate cash. How many clients I can have? All the rest is fluff.
Yes. Yeah.
All the rest becomes fluff.
Yeah.
How can I get myself out there more? How can I be more visible? How can I make money and get clients and help them out and give them incredible results?
Yeah.
All the rest, fluff.
Absolutely.
Comes at the second stage, because then you have the cash then to employ people and take it out of that. But during the period of transition is really interesting, because also the audience that we have built now has been trained that they go somewhere and they see me, and they will come there because they follow me. So for example, yesterday we had 4 people that came specifically just to see me, and then they left because they say, oh well, Simone is not here, then
oh wow, the event. Brilliant.
At the event, absolutely. And in fact, because I went to basketball training, so I went to the event to just make sure, the guys, Caroline, Jeff, and Sephora, they had the banners, everything ready. And then I went back to play basketball, and I came back to collect all the banners and the event material.
Yeah. And
so during the debrief, they told me what happened.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that, because now we are training our audience that in some of our events, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just a period they got to get used to, that when they come to the particular event called Purpose to Abundance, they're not going to see me there. And when they come to the free one-day event, then they're going to see only a couple of hours. And then the rest is going to be run by the team.
And that's fair enough, because, I mean, you've got to have your time to be you. And if you get overwhelmed and consumed within it, you will not be you and not best serve them either. And you've put a lot of energy over the years anyway to constantly be there. We all grow old. Things happen, like you say. You're married now. You need time to play your didgeridoo and all that. So it's really important that you've got your own time as well. But I just like the way you've set that model up. I think you've done it very, very cleverly. I didn't know whether it was intended, planned or not planned, but it sounds like from what you're saying, you had it planned out.
We worked a lot. Ben is great. So Ben Shorter, which is my business partner, he's great in terms of strategy. He's a great guy, great in terms of strategy. And we decided to create that business in that way, the business in this way after we tested. So immediately we tested for about 3 years. So it's been for the last 2 years that then we decided to move in this direction, win the long-term goal. Now that we had 3 years of testing data, we see what's working, what doesn't. We generated a lot of money, a lot of clients. So we had something to base our decision on.
Yeah.
And I think that at the beginning for any business is a little like maybe this is going to work.
Absolutely, yeah.
More than the testing phase. And then you know yourself better, you know your business better, and therefore you can make better decision and longer term plans.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think it's brilliant what you did and are doing at the moment. And what do you think, where do you think you want to be? Like, I mean, how old are you now, Simone, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 30.
So you're 30 plumbing now. You're 10 years younger than me. It's just scary. It's scary. Oh, I feel old. So where do you want to be when you're my age then? I was going to say 10 years from now. That's like...
You know what? It sounds interesting, but nowhere different.
Really? That's nice.
I wouldn't want to do something different.
So you're not looking to ever go back to Italy with your wife, or you know, you're just happy where you are.
I love to speak.
Yeah.
I love to speak. I love to change lives. I love to play basketball. I love to entertain.
Yeah.
And there is going to be, of course, on a family side, I want to have children, spend more time with my wife. That's going to be really important.
Yeah.
But
you need to stop playing that didgeridoo. You might get children, but
probably.
You know, she's just going to keep holding that one against you.
It's like, if you keep playing the didgeridoo, I'm not going to give you kids.
Yeah, she might use it against you.
Absolutely. It's going to knock me out on the bed. But yeah, I'm not planning to do. I don't have plans to. I have plans to reduce the amount of speaking engagements I'm doing. That's going to happen from next year. Because I did an average of 200 speaking gigs every single year for the past 5 years. It's been more than 1,000 gigs in 5 years. And I done my groundwork.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to only to focus on, unless it's already a big opportunity, I'm going to focus the majority of the gigs and reducing on the bigger stages and reduce from 200 a year to 100 a year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're doing a lot. You are doing a lot. I mean, you did a TEDx talk, didn't you? Which, you know, could you tell us the interesting title to that? Your TEDx talk?
Yes, it's called Sleeping with Your Clients.
What does all that mean?
So
I get what it's about. I know what it's about.
Yeah, the Sleeping with Your Clients is the story of an experiment that we did. Because yes, it's about connection. We never slept with our clients. Just disclaimer. Before I see someone sending me like a nasty message. But it was the fact that we decided to do an experiment and see how can we connect better with our clients. And at a certain point, we had the GTeX house, where Ben, myself, and 3 other clients were living together.
Yeah,
that's why Sleeping with Your Clients.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting experiment, I gotta say.
It's a great name, though, isn't it? It got people's attention, which is...
It was actually the TEDx organizer that came up with that name.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Because my name was something Boric like exploring like beyond the boundaries of clients and businesses, something like that. That was my original title. And the TEDx organizer said, I like the concept. The title sucks. How about Sleeping with Your Clients? I'm like, yes. I like it. It's definitely going to create some intrigue there.
It did, definitely.
And that's the whole concept. So it was a great experiment. We looked at what kind of relationship can you create if you actually share the same space with your clients, with your clients, with people that not only live with you, but also they work with you. They see the work that you're putting in. I mean, I remember some of our clients, they come back after a night out at 3:00 in the morning, and I was there building a landing page. All these kind of things. And we saw the work that they would put in to grow their businesses as well, and to grow there. So it was a great experiment.
It is all about connection, and I think that's why many people can't really fully fake it. I don't think, because you're either a decent person or you're not. And I think generally most people they can tell in the long term anyway. They can tell, whether they're true to self or not. I know we've only got a few minutes left, and you've got to get going. But I was going to say to you one last thing. There's 2 last things actually. What I loved about the last time when we met up, you're like, right, I'm going to do a comedy gig. I'm like, what the fuck? You're speaking, you're doing events, you're training, you know, you do this, and he said, right, I'm going to get up and speak to like hundreds of people and do a comedy act. I'm like, okay. And it was absolutely bloody good. And then even more surprising, Caroline, like, she's like a lovely mum-like figure, beautiful soul, says she's going to do it as well, because it was like, I think
we got into that together, because you know, right now I'm learning magic, for example.
Oh my God.
I'm learning magic and mentalism right now, because it's something that as I said, I love entertaining and I love speaking, and the best speaker in the world are entertainers as well, and the highest paid speakers in the world are entertainers as well, because it's about how can you deliver a concept in a way that is not academic, is not like a lecture.
Yes.
And you can, the learnings when people have fun is much deeper. So that's why I was exploring stand-up comedy. I don't think it's for me. It went well. It went really
well.
Really
I heard it went well, and I've seen it with the other recordings after.
But it's a lot of, I've realized also how much work there is to do to create a comedy set. I mean, there are literally weeks spent to create a 2-minute set. Weeks, because it's all about refining to the essence what is the, in few words, that you can say that can make people laugh every 15 seconds. That's the laugh ratio. So one laugh every 15 seconds. Wow. That's what you want to aim. It's a science. And you test and you do. And I don't have that fear of rejection to say, oh, I don't want to test it. But am I passionate enough about stand-up comedy to put that amount of work up front to create a few minutes of material? No.
But at least
but I have the skill. Exactly, I have the skill, and I know how to create, so I can implement it in the speaking, because I want to become the best speaker I can be. And so I don't want to become the best comedian in the world. It's different. But having comedy skill helps. Like having magic skills helps, but I don't want to become the best magician in the world.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm very similar. I just like to just constantly learn, and it's, you know, I'll go through one challenge with property investing, for instance. I'll lose my hair on that, and then I'll go into another challenge, and I'll go into, like, you know, just constantly can't help myself, and it's stressful getting these things. But it's the buzz as well, isn't it? It's a bit of a challenge. It's the buzz. But I'm going to say bye for now, because it's time. I know you've got to get going. I want to thank you ever so much. And just throw out a name. Who would you recommend on the next interview on Mic Drops from your network of people? Who would you reckon would suit a podcast like this?
Oh, absolutely. Get Ben Chai.
Ben Chai, okay, we'll get Ben, obviously,
We have Ben Chai, we can have Kristen O'Connell, great person.
Oh, she's lovely, yes.
She's lovely, Kristen. Or as well...
Only loads, I only wanted one, but
Suze McLean-Pont.
Okay, yes.
Amazing, I connect you with her. So I'll send you some recommendation about these 3 people, definitely. And also my business partner, Ben Shorter.
I was going to say Ben as well. It'd be good to get him on as well, because he's come from a different angle in life.
Oh yeah, he's very different.
Yeah, brilliant. But I want to say thank you for coming to Mic Drop, Simone. You're a legend. You're a very, very, very inspirational guy.
Thank you.
I love seeing and watching and following you. And, you know, just keep it up, man. And I'll be down in London probably in the next week or 2. But I'll have to just pop by whatever event you're doing.
We have our Christmas dinner on the 8th of this Saturday, if you want to come.
Oh, the 8th is when I'm doing the training.
Okay, don't come then. All the best for the training.
What time is it? What time is it? I might have
8 o'clock. Well, 6:30, 6:37, 7 o'clock actually.
Could I give you a last minute call on that?
Give me a last minute call.
All right. If I could do that, because I've got training till probably about 5, 6. I've got to say hi to my wife at least once in a day, and then I could potentially.
All right, perfect. Let me know.
All right, man. Thanks again. You take care.
You're welcome.
Look after
yourself. Buddy. Bye.
Cheers, mate. Thank you, everybody, for tuning into Mic Drops. Really appreciate it, and massive thank you to Simone. He really is a great guy, and someone I'm proud to say he's a friend. Thank you for tuning in and for putting up with the technical crap we had at the beginning. Unfortunately, these things constantly happen, but we'll see you all soon. Take care. All the best. Bye-bye.
If you enjoyed listening, then please subscribe to The Mic Drop Show Connect with Michael on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.